She gonna tell me, Elijah, when are we going on a date? And I told her, as ugly as you is, man, where's the local dungeon in this mug? Okay, anyway, guys, welcome to the WWE SmackDown review from October 3rd, 2025. We're gonna have SmackDown was hosted in Cincinnati, Ohio, with Michael Cole and Booker T. You know what I'm saying, dog? You know what I mean? Me and Michael Cole. You know what I mean? We had to call the show, dog. Cause you know Brock Lesnar, he put a beat down on Corey Graves, so he ain't back at work, dog. You know what I'm saying? He licking his wounds, dog. Anyway, so we kick off the show with Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion, coming out to a nice, loving reception in Cincinnati. They loving on Cody and all that stuff. So he hits him with the Cincinnati. What do you guys want to talk about? And all that other stuff. Loud cheers. I'll tell you what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the time I went to Applebee's and I said, let me get an appetizer. And she said, sir, that'll be 15 minutes. And I said, I can't wait that long. Tell them to make it 5 minutes. And she said, Cody, I can't do it. And I told her, you gotta believe in yourself, Kathy, our waitress. You need to believe. Okay, he ain't saying none of that. What am I talking about? So Cody says, so what do you want to talk about? Next thing you know, we hear a voice. I know what I want to talk about. And it turned out to be Paul Heyman, who somehow hid in a crowd. They didn't notice him. I mean, it's hard not to notice him. I mean, he has a lot of weight on his shoulders and stomach and knees, but they didn't notice him. Paul Heyman comes out. I'm like, oh, right? Dun, 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 whatever the music is. He comes out with Braun and Bronson, attorneys at law of the Vision, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, that come out, and Paul essentially gets up on the apron, but out of nowhere, Randy Orton just swoops in like Superman. And Cody's smart. He's probably like, yo, in case something happened, I'm gonna need you to watch my back. You know what I'm saying? So Paul Heyman stresses that he just came out there to talk, because later on in the show, we'll have a tag team match and all that other stuff. But basically, in this segment, Paul Heyman just planted the seeds, planted the seeds of dissent and all that other stuff. Paul Heyman basically was trying to say, let me apologize for interrupting, but we did not come to talk to you, Cody. We came to talk to Randy Orton. But how rude of me, I didn't introduce myself. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And all that other stuff, the usual stuff. Basically, he said, now, Randy, we all know I would love to be a fly on the wall for your strategy tonight. When you and Cody strategize and all that stuff. And if he was a fly on the wall, it wouldn't be hard to miss him. Let me tell you. Anyway, moving on. So basically, he placed a seed of dissent between Orton and Cody by saying Orton's gonna essentially look at Cody as weak and a weak link and all that other stuff. And that's our WWE champion. Look at him. He's on the ground, beaten and brutalized and all that good cheese. So after all of the plans, he said, that is not a prediction. That's a prophecy. Throws the mic down and basically trying to plant the seeds of dissent. So next, by the way, if this is out of order, I apologize. I was trying to keep up while writing my notes here. Next, it was the Sami Zayn US Open Challenge, essentially. US Open Challenge. Backstage, there was a segment between Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. They're arguing and all that stuff, and Melo blames The Miz for the loss. And Miz was like, I took 3 finishers. What are you talking about? You know, all that good stuff. And Carmella said, you know what? We're done. Just be glad I'm ending this peacefully because normally I shoot first. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Sideways because I'm black. Okay, he didn't say that, but we knew what he meant. So Carmella comes out. He answers Sami Zayn's challenge. All the other stuff. Basically, he ended the partnership with The Miz. He answers the challenge to Sami Zayn, talk about, oh, I'm him and all the other stuff. You know, it's time for people to remember who Carmelo Hayes is. And before he could do anything, The Miz comes up behind him, pause, and then he puts him in a full Nelson, pause again, and hits a skull-crushing finale on the stage. Straight busted his head. Pause again. Pause. And you know, the referees and all those guys come out and say, yo, Miz, no, don't pull out the 9. No, he didn't. What am I talking about? Why can't I just review this show regular? So next thing you know, Aleister African American comes out and he accepts the challenge for the United States Championship against Sami. I almost forgot to do that. Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn and Aleister African American go back and forth. Pretty awesome match, to be honest with you, for a TV. And before Aleister African American, before he pulls off a move, Damian Priest shows up out of nowhere, distracts Black, allowing Sami Zayn to capitalize and pick up the win. After Sami wins, he retains the title and is heading to the back. Priest slowly moves the table apart, and I'm like, oh no, we all know where this is going. And Priest grabs Aleister and sits him up for the razor's edge, right through the table. Man. Even Booker T was like, yeah, we might want to move, dog, man. It's getting crazy out here on SmackDown. So then we go to backstage interview with him and Kathy Kelly. And, yo, Kathy, how you been? I was unfamiliar with your game. Now, let me shut up, bro. What am I talking about? Kathy ain't thinking about me. All right, moving on. So she talks to Damian Priest and asks him about what he did with Black, essentially hitting him with black masks and all this other stuff. So then Kit Wilson, I believe is his name, rolls up on him, literally, because he was in a wheelchair. He rolls up on him and says, you think you're so tough, blah, 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 whatever he was talking about. And he was like, I'll show you masculinity. And he stands up and Priest just like finger pokes him down. And then Priest rotates Kit and wheels him down the ramp. I don't know why that was funny to me. Oh my gosh. He should have might as well said, Autobots, roll out. And he throws him down. He basically pushes him down, and all you hear is kids screaming. Off screen. And that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So then Priest says he challenges Aleister Black to a last man standing match. And I'm like, oh man, that's going to be brutal. All rise. Next, we have Soruka and Zarya, I believe is her name, versus Alba Fire and Chelsea Green. All that stuff in a tag match. Pretty standard. Soruka hits a soul snatcher. I'm looking for a soul snatcher. Where y'all at? What are ladies that can soul snatch? Huh? Where you at? I need that. Know what I'm saying? off the back. I'm looking for the soul snatchers. Where the freaks at? About to hit up Scott Steiner. Where are the freaks? Where the freaks at? Because he got freaks 9 days out of the week. So anyway, Cecil Ruka hits the soul snatcher for the win. Next, Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton have a contract signing, pretty standard contract signing segment. But once they shake hands, Tiffany leaves the ring. All of a sudden, Julia and Kiana James, I believe is her name, Kiana James. She attacks Tiffany from behind, knocks her out for a minute, and then they try to essentially offer Stephanie Vaquer, like, you should get my, you should, I'm offering you my services. And tell me why I wasn't really paying attention, but when I heard her say offer her services, tell me why I looked up like. I looked up so fast. She got my attention quick. I'm like, man, what the heck is going on here? I want to offer you my services. Let me stop. To be her manager. My mind shouldn't be in the gutter like that. She said, otherwise you'll end up like Tiffany back there. And Tiffany like yanks her out from underneath. And Julia proceeds to try to attack Stephanie Vaquer. And she went for the SP, is it called SPV? I believe. The Stephanie Vaquer SVP, whatever it's called. But she didn't hit it. Julia was able to escape. And they stand tall. So I'm suspecting a tag team match player. We'll see in the future. Then we get to the main event. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton versus Braun and Bronson Reed, attorneys at law, the Vision, in a pretty epic tag team match. It was very, very entertaining. I just love when main eventers like tag team, like, and it'd be like really like they're in it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like I love good main event tag team matches like this, like where you have like just the clear good versus evil tag team battle. And I love it and especially when it has a lot of time, so you're gonna get a good match. A pretty good main event. Towards the end here, Braun Breaker, he dived like on Cody, like dive in, like his dive is like insane, and I'm like, Braun Breaker's so freaking good. He dove on Cody through a barricade, which was freaking awesome. Orton realizes what happens, but Bronson Reed was in position for that middle rope DDT and all that other stuff. But when Paul Heyman, he distracts the referee, and then out of nowhere, Seth freaking Rollins appears, curb stomps Randy Orton behind the referee's back, and next thing I know, Bronson Reed goes to the top rope and hits a tsunami on Randy Orton, and they won. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker defeated the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton. It's like a huge win, y'all. And so Rollins is not arguing, but Rollins looked like he was about to head back after Orton and Cody. They're basically on the ground in the ring while the Vision are walking away. Rollins is looking at Paul Heyman, but he's looking at Cody Rhodes, and Paul Heyman was like, look, we got the win. Let's just go. Rollins, you don't want that. You don't want that smoke. He's in your head. No pause. He's in your head. And Rollins is just like, I got to get my lick back. And the whole time I'm looking at Rollins, I'm like, why is my boy dressed like a cowboy vampire male stripper? Like, what is this outfit, bro? I would kill to see his closet. They need to put out a vlog of what Rollins' closet looks like, because his outfits get more and more ridiculous by the week. But next thing you know, Rollins goes in, runs it back into the ring, and tries to hit a curb stomp on Cody. But Cody was like, psych, and he was just, I'm about to end this whole man's career, and hits a crossroad and all that stuff on Seth Rollins. And Bronson and Braun Breaker were about to go in the ring, but Paul was like, no, he needs to learn. He basically looked at him like how Will Ferrell looked at that dude in that movie. He needs to learn. like my father. Let the boy watch. He needs to learn like I did. Or however the freaking movie scene goes. But basically, Cody outsmarted or outmaneuvered Seth Rollins. Rollins didn't know how to take the W and accept the win. And that was SmackDown from Cincinnati. Let me know what you guys thought of the show. Please like and subscribe. Share if you enjoyed. Become a part of the members only. Only $1 a month if you are interested in getting ad-free videos, early access to videos, and even more exclusive stuff you ain't going to get anywhere else. But regardless if you do or you don't, I am so grateful that you watched this. So y'all have a great day, and I'll see you next time.